My name is Jessica Boivin, and this will be my presentation on open and closed kinetic chains. So to start, I'm going to talk about what an open and closed kinetic chains are, respectively. An open kinetic chain is an exercise in which the distal portion of a limb is able to move around freely, and the body would remain stable. Now, open kinetic chain exercises are really good for targeting specific muscles, specific muscle groups, and correcting muscle imbalances. They're not really as functional as a closed kinetic chain exercise would be, but again, if you're correcting a muscle imbalance, it would be ideal. Now, a closed kinetic chain is when the distal portion of a limb is secured, and in doing so, that would mean that the body is then forced to move while the limb stays where it's supposed to be. These exercises are generally compound exercises, and they work multiple muscle groups at a time. They're really good for functionality in your day-to-day lives. The only disadvantage is in doing some of these compound exercises, muscle groups that are already dominant can overpower ones that need to be developed, in which case an open kinetic chain exercise would be better suited. So yeah, let's get into it. First, we're going to start off with an upper body open kinetic chain movement. We're going to do the example of a bicep curl. So simply a bicep curl, standing with your feet about shoulder width apart, just going to raise and lower your arm, flexing at the elbow. Now, if this movement is too difficult, you can sit down, and what this does is it broadens your base of support, making the movement easier, and it also changes your center of gravity. So you also don't have to focus so much on contracting your core, making sure stuff like that still should be done, but makes life a bit easier. Now, if that movement is too simple, you can change your base of support by standing on one foot, maybe bending at the knee a little bit, and then you have to engage your core a little bit more. And by bending your other knee, you're also changing your center of gravity. For an upper body closed kinetic chain movement, we're going to be doing a push-up. So push-up, you get down on your hands and feet, hands about shoulder width apart, and simply go down and up. If this movement is too easy for you, you can always narrow your base of support by bringing your hands closer together and down and up. Now, if the normal movement is too hard for you, you can broaden your base of support and change your center of gravity by broadening your handstands and going on your hands and knees. All right, so for a lower body open kinetic chain, we're actually going to do hip flexes or leg raises. So you're going to get down on the ground for the initial movement, and you can use your elbows to help stabilize your body, and you're simply going to raise and lower your legs. If this movement is too hard for you, you can always lay back, broadening your base of support and keeping your knees bent. Just bring your knees up to your chest. Now, if the normal movement is too easy for you, you can always change your base of support and your center of gravity by raising your hands above your head and then trying to raise your legs. So for the lower body closed kinetic chain movement, we're going to be doing squats. So for a normal squat, you're going to have your feet about shoulder width apart. You're going to squat down, making sure your knees track over your toes. All right, and if this movement is too hard for you, wind your stance a little bit, just like a sumo. And then you're going to squat down, still making sure that your knees track over your toes. If the original movement is too easy for you, bring your feet closer together and squat down. And for all of the regressions of this movement, you are changing your base of support, making it easier by having it farther apart and harder by having it closer together. So thanks for watching. I hope this has been informative and helpful in understanding what open and closed kinetic chains are.